No phones, no filters, just pure electricity in the air. Tens of thousands of voices moving as one, guitars shaking the ground, and moments that didn't just define music, but entire generations. You've seen live shows, but these were something else. These are the 10 rock concerts that made history. And if you love music, get ready, because some of these will hit you hard. Monsters of Rock in Moscow was held on September 28, 1991, just months before the official dissolution of the Soviet Union. The concert took place at Tushino Airfield and was organized as part of a cultural shift, serving as a reward negotiated between student protesters and the new Russian government. It marked one of the first times Western rock bands performed in the newly opened country, symbolizing a historic change beyond music. The lineup included EST, the Black Crowes, Pantera, Metallica, and AC/DC. Attendance estimates vary widely, with numbers ranging from 750,000 to over 1.5 million people, making it one of the largest concerts in rock history. The crowd filled the massive airfield, with waves of people stretching far beyond the stage line. The Russian military was tasked with maintaining order, but as the concert progressed, footage showed uniformed soldiers joining in with the audience. Helicopters circled above, and security lines eventually dissolved into a sea of united energy. Metallica opened with Enter Sandman and delivered a set that solidified their global dominance. In 2001, U2 performed 2 back-to-back concerts at Slane Castle as part of their Elevation Tour. These shows marked the first time any band had played twice in the same year at the iconic Irish venue. The second concert coincided with a crucial football match where Ireland defeated the Netherlands, adding to the electric energy in the crowd. The first performance came only days after Bono's father passed away. Bono acknowledged this on stage, making the performance deeply emotional. During Sunday Bloody Sunday, he named the victims of the 1998 Omagh tragedy aloud in a powerful moment that linked the band's music to national memory. Slane Castle's natural amphitheater amplified the band's sound and audience energy. With over 80,000 fans in attendance, U2 delivered a set that included One, Where the Streets Have No Name, and With or Without You. The concert film, released the following year, became one of their most celebrated live recordings. On April 20th, 1992, Wembley Stadium hosted the Freddie Mercury tribute concert to honor the late Queen frontman. Over 70,000 people attended the sold-out event, and the broadcast reached more than 70 countries worldwide. It was both a memorial and a global fundraising event. Queen performed with a variety of guest vocalists. David Bowie, Elton John, George Michael, Axl Rose, and James Hetfield joined the band on stage. Each guest brought their own style to Queen's classic hits, delivering reimagined versions of songs like Somebody to Love and Bohemian Rhapsody. Elton John's duet with Axl Rose on Bohemian Rhapsody was one of the night's highlights. George Michael's vocal performance on Somebody to Love received critical acclaim and widespread praise from Queen's members. The setlist remained true to Queen's legacy, reintroducing their songs to a global audience. The concert helped establish the Mercury Phoenix Trust, which continues to fund global health initiatives. It was more than a tribute, it was a massive statement about Mercury's cultural impact and the power of music to unite causes. Which artist surprised you most that night? Tell us which performance gave you chills. Held between August 15th and 18th, 1969, Woodstock took place on a dairy farm in Bethel, New York. Initially expected to attract 50,000 people, the event drew over 400,000, transforming into an unplanned cultural phenomenon. The lineup featured some of the most influential artists of the era, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, The Who, Santana, and Jefferson Airplane all delivered unforgettable performances. Despite severe weather and organizational issues, the crowd remained peaceful throughout the event. Jimi Hendrix closed the festival on the final morning. His interpretation of the Star-Spangled Banner using distorted guitar tones was both artistic and politically charged. That performance remains one of the most studied and replayed moments in rock history. In 1981, Thin Lizzy became the first band to headline a major concert at Slane Castle. This event marked the beginning of what would become one of Europe's most iconic live venues. Over the decades, countless major artists would follow, but it was Thin Lizzy who set the tone and standard. The concert included support acts like U2, Hazel O'Connor, and Sweet Savage. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, as Irish fans were eager to see their own national legends take the lead. Phil Lynott delivered a passionate performance, commanding the stage with charisma and grit. The set list included Jailbreak, Rosalie, and The Boys Are Back in Town. The natural acoustics of the Slane Valley, combined with the crowd's energy, elevated the performance into one of the most important moments in Irish rock history. For many fans, it was more than a concert. It was a cultural milestone. Although no full video footage of the show survives, the legacy of that performance is well documented in press coverage and fan accounts. Live Aid took place on July 13, 1985, as a multinational fundraising event organized by Bob Geldof and Midge Ure. The goal was to raise funds for famine relief efforts in Africa, and the event became one of the most watched broadcasts of all time, reaching over 1.4 billion people across 150 countries. Wembley Stadium hosted the UK side of the concert, with performances from U2, Elton John, David Bowie, and Paul McCartney. The program was tightly managed, with each artist limited to a short time slot. Despite this constraint, the passion and delivery made each performance powerful and unforgettable. Queen's 20-minute set remains the definitive moment of Live Aid. Freddie Mercury led the crowd through Bohemian Rhapsody, Radio Gaga, Hammer to Fall, and We Are the Champions. His call-and-response vocal improvisation with the audience has become one of the most recognized clips in rock history. Live Aid succeeded not only in raising over $125 million, but also in proving the potential of music to mobilize global action. Its cultural and charitable impact is still referenced today as a benchmark for live music's influence. On January 30th, 1969, the Beatles performed on the rooftop of their Apple Corps headquarters in London. It was their final public appearance as a band and lasted just under 3/4 of an hour before being interrupted by police due to noise complaints. The impromptu concert featured songs like Get Back, Don't Let Me Down, and I've Got a Feeling. Billy Preston joined the band on electric keys, adding another layer to the band's evolving sound. The event was unannounced and quickly drew a crowd of onlookers in the streets below. The performance was captured in the documentary Let It Be, released in 1970. It showcased the band in an unfiltered setting, joking between songs and playing with renewed energy. The rooftop served as a literal and symbolic platform for their final act together. This spontaneous set is now one of the most iconic moments in music history. With no promotion, no ticket sales, and no commercial setup, the Beatles created a cultural landmark with nothing but instruments and a rooftop. What would you have done if you turned the corner and saw that show live? Drop your reaction below. In December of 2013, Metallica performed at the Carlini Scientific Base in Antarctica, becoming the first band in history to play on all 7 continents. The performance was part of a Coca-Cola-sponsored event titled Freeze 'Em All, and it took place inside a specially constructed dome to protect the environment. Only a select audience of scientists and research staff attended, and due to environmental regulations, the show was held without traditional amplifiers. Instead, the band played through a direct input system while the audience listened via headphones, creating a silent disco-style setup unlike any other concert. The 10-song set included hits like Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Master of Puppets. Despite sub-zero temperatures and extreme conditions, the band played with full intensity. The performance was recorded and later made available online as a full concert experience.
My car's out back if you're ready to take.
In 1978, Bruce Springsteen played 3 consecutive nights at the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey. At the time, Springsteen was rising fast, already known for his intense live shows and deeply personal songwriting. These concerts would become some of the most celebrated in his career. The Capitol Theater had a capacity of just over 3,000, offering fans an unusually intimate setting. Springsteen performed songs from Darkness on the Edge of Town, along with earlier hits like Born to Run and Thunder Road. The energy between the artist and the audience was palpable from the opening note. A standout moment from the run was the performance of Because the Night, co-written with Patti Smith. Springsteen's delivery was filled with urgency and emotion, and the version recorded during these shows is still widely praised by fans and critics alike. The soundboard recordings from these nights are considered legendary bootlegs. Led Zeppelin played 3 consecutive sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden in July of 1973. These concerts were part of their North American tour in support of Houses of the Holy and were later documented in the concert film The Song Remains the Same, released in 1976. The lineup featured Robert Plant on vocals, Jimmy Page on guitar, John Paul Jones on bass and keyboards, and John Bonham on drums. The band was at their peak, delivering extended versions of Dazed and Confused, No Quarter, and Stairway to Heaven, each filled with improvisation and raw power. Madison Square Garden provided a massive stage and advanced production for the time. The concerts were recorded and filmed using multiple cameras and custom lighting. The footage captured not only the performance, but also backstage moments and fantasy sequences for the film. And that's it for today's list of rock concerts that didn't just entertain but truly made history. Whether it was a million fans in Moscow, a farewell from a rooftop, or a guitar screaming through the silence of Antarctica, each one left a mark that still echoes. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these concerts would you give anything to experience live? Or maybe we missed one that you think deserves a spot. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. We read them all. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. We've got way more music stories headed your way.